All right, so let's continue. We were actually talking about al-adhan, and we said that the dua after the adhan, is the one in green right here, we would say, Allahumma rabba hadhihi ad-da'wati at-tamma was-salati al-qa'imah آتِ محمدا الوسيلة والفضيلة وابعثه مقاما محمودا الذي وعدته. We said that one, and we said that whoever would make the dua after the adhan and hearing it, that they would actually get the shafa'ah. And we even explained the wording in English, and we said, oh, the Lord of this great call and the salah that we will be observing, give Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam al-wasila wal-fadila, which is actually a level of piety, or a level of Jannah, and give him the level that you had promised him. And we said that the level was actually in the intercession, and that with this intercession, if you were to be granted this intercession, that would actually mean in practice, that would actually mean you would be granted the water, to get from the water from the lake of Al-Kawthar, which actually is a river that comes flowing from Jannah. Now, we also said that al-mu'mineen, it doesn't mean that if the mu'mineen, they actually drink from the hawd, that's not the end of it, because they would still have to go through another test in where the believers themselves, they might have actually transgressed the limits upon themselves. That's when they will actually get the test. And then, of course, each will then, even for the munafiqeen, they will also pass in al-kafir, mu'min, munafiq. And this is a sirat, which is وَإِن مِّنكُمْ إِلَّا وَارِدُهَا. Every single person will pass through a sirat. Although you would see it here that looks kind of big, but it is actually a lot thinner than that. In where at one point right here, it is going to get completely pitch black, pitch dark. And that is when you're going to need the light. But what light is it? The light of your salah, the light of your qira'at Quran. And the Prophet ﷺ said, بَشِّرِ الْمَشَّائِينَ فِي الظُّلَمِ إِلَى الْمَسَاجِدِ بِالنُّورِ التَّامِ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ. Bring like a glad tidings. What does glad tidings mean? So glad tidings, like tell and bring like congratulations to those that walk to the masjid at night when it's all dark, that on Judgment Day, it will be nur tam. It will be complete light. Now here, when you look at the pitch black, it is also going to be light for the mu'mineen. Now munafiqeen will come in and say, انظرونا نقتبس من نوركم. Look, we're also getting from your light. And who will they be telling? The mu'mineen. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, ارجعوا وراءكم. قيل ارجعوا وراءكم. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will put a wall in between the munafiqeen and the mu'mineen. That way, the munafiqeen will not get from the light of the mu'mineen. The mu'mineen will cross. What is going to be in here? There's going to be the hellfire underneath, but there will also be a bridge. But the bridge is going to contain some gravity where it will pull the people. But in order for you to pass from here, it's not about how strong you are, but it's actually about what good deeds you had done. So one day you were memorizing Quran, that's actually going to give you the power of speed to go fast. You were waking up for Fajr, you were waking up for your Salah, that's going to give you the power of speed to cross this bridge really fast. But if the person was lying about, I made my wudu, but they were lying about their wudu, well, that's actually going to give you slow speed and probably going to make you get this weight over your back. And that's why for sin, it actually becomes a weight on your body. And then it makes them fall in hellfire. But for the mu'mineen, even after they would pass Is-Sirat, they would still. So could be Hudhayfa is a mu'min. And another guy, Yusuf, is a mu'min. But they had some disagreements on some matters. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you've got a certain level in Jannah. So they will actually also go through, before even getting to Jannah, they've got another test to do. So the believers would be in here too, and then they would go through another test, and that's going to determine their levels of Jannah. Yes, you're all going to Jannah, but there are certain levels. So that's when they will go through a more of a test type of thing. That's one. Number two, in al-qantara here, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, there could be a believer and a believer. They don't like each other, but in Jannah, there's no hate. In Jannah, there's only good. There's no pain. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala during here, that's when they will actually then, once they actually are determined what level of Jannah, Jannah will actually have doors. These doors of Jannah, then you will actually enter from the door of Jannah that you have done a lot of things. So there is a bab, there is a door. The person was always fasting. They'll actually go through the door of Rayyan. If the person was actually doing jihad, they will go through there. For a woman that was struggling a lot with her husband, she will basically choose any door she wants to go to and actually get there. Now, going back to al-adhan. So for al-adhan, there is the dua between the adhan and the iqamah. So what does that mean? There's an invocation that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will accept. So let's say the mu'adhin made the adhan, and then the person that's going to lead the salah is just saying قَدْ قَامَتِ الصَّلَاةِ قَدْ قَامَتِ الصَّلَاةِ, before the person that's going to, the imam says قَدْ قَامَتِ الصَّلَاةِ قَدْ قَامَتِ الصَّلَاةِ. And when the adhan had started, when the adhan had finished, between these times there is a dua that would be answered. And in fact, the Prophet ﷺ, when he was asked, listen to this, when he was asked, what dua should we do at that time? You know what he said? He said, سَلُوا اللَّهَ الْعَفْوَ وَالْعَافِيَ فِي الدُّنْيَا وَالْآخِرَةِ. What does that mean? It means ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for forgiveness of your sins and al-afiyah fi dunya wal akhirah. What does al-afiyah actually mean? What is it? How is it different? Al-afiyah actually means two things. You're asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to protect you from the pains of Judgment Day, and you're also asking him to be healthy in your body. To be healthy in your body. Why? Because you want your body to be secure from the pains on Judgment Day and from the pains in this life too. All right. From the pains in this life too. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells you, what dua should you do when you hear that? Ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Ya Allah, Allahumma inna nas'aluka al-afwu wal-afiyah. What is al-afu? Al-afu is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would dismiss the sins that you had committed. Al-afiyah is to be healthy and to actually be saved and secured on Judgment Day for dunya wal akhirah. So this is just in general. So let's continue. Can I make other du'as? Maybe I'm actually going through hardship in life. You can certainly make different du'as as well. So the other thing that I would like to say, there is actually a du'a that between the adhan and the iqama, although here the author said yustahab, but it is actually not an authentic hadith, but you can still do it with iqama, aqamaha Allahu wa adamaha. So there is actually a whole conversation between scholars about whether this is authentic or not. The preponderant ruling is that this hadith is not authentic. Can I still say أقامها الله وأدامها? You sure can. Now let's move on. Now the other part is that the mu'addin, certain things that you want to do is that number one is that you want to make this for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Can I get paid for it? The preponderant ruling is that you cannot get paid for it. What if I'm hired to do the job? differences of opinions on whether you can be hired to do the job at the masjid or not. Why not? Let's look at this hadith. This is Uthman ibn Abi al-As. Listen to this, because that way we can figure out our leadership. Uthman ibn Abi al-As was approximately in his early 20s when he became Muslim. He actually came with a group of guys from Thaqif. Now, Thaqif was a city, it's still called the Ta'if, all right? And he came along with them. And listen to this, he came along with them. And when they were basically, having some conversation on something, then the Prophet ﷺ noticed that Uthman ibn Abi al-As was always asking questions. So Uthman ibn Abi al-As says he wants to learn more about Islam. So the Prophet ﷺ assigns Ubay ibn Ka'b, who was actually one of the people to scribe, to write the Quran, to actually be the person to teach Uthman ibn Abi al-As the Quran. He taught him the Quran. And then Uthman ibn Abi al-As, he said, "O Prophet of Allah, let me be the leader over them." So the Prophet ﷺ, actually tells him, "Yes, you are the leader, but I want you to be concerned about the weakest one." So what does that mean? When you're a leader, look at the ones that are weakest. Are they able to catch up or not? وَاتَّخِذْ مُؤَذِّنًا. He was the leader, and take someone to do the adhan. So when we're a group of people going camping, doing something, we're going to assign different responsibilities. You're going to be the mu'addin. You're going to be the person to actually collect the garbage. You're going to be the person to probably make the food. You're going to be the person to probably turn off the lights. You're going to be the person to probably take care of the pizza. Whatever it is, each one is going to be assigned a different task. And that way we could all be together. So when he actually told them, don't let him take like a stipend or even get paid for the job of doing the adhan, the scholars actually had differences of opinions on whether that was a recommendation or whether it's obligatory. So that's why the Hanafis, they actually said, no, you can take a person and assign a person and even pay them to do the job, like the imam, like the mu'addin. So why? He's doing dhikr. Why are we paying him to do that? Because we need someone to actually do the job, because it is fard kifaya. Fard what? Fard kifaya. What does fard kifaya actually mean? Well, there are two kinds of obligations. There's an obligation where you have to do it. And there's an obligation, we just need one person to do it. The adhan, we don't want every single person standing on that microphone doing the adhan and together. We just need one person for the whole masjid. And that's basically it. So this is called fard kifaya. If we were to have a group of people, if we need a certain job to be done, we need one person equivalent to the number of people necessary to do the job. So we need one person. Is it enough to actually have one masjid do the job? No, it's not. It's not enough. It depends on how many people are there, etc. If we've got a masjid, we need one person. If we have more than one masjid, every single masjid, we need an assigned space. We need an assigned person to actually do the job. And that's why when we actually look at to do the adhan, you need to make sure we can take that in consideration. The other thing, can the mu'addin, and does the mu'addin have to be in tahara? So what does that mean? Do I have to have wudu? Not necessarily. It's best to do your dhikr when you are actually in tahara. But if you don't have tahara, that's okay. You can do the adhan, then go make wudu and come back for salah. You could actually do that. Even though the Prophet ﷺ, he didn't respond when a guy came and said Salamu alaikum, because he was like, I just want to go, I wasn't on tahara and I would like to say the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and do my dhikr when I'm on tahara. 2 or 3 is that when you want to do the adhan, it is best if you actually face the qibla. Now, it is actually a sunnah, but if you did not face the qibla, that is actually okay. All right, it's the sunnah. 2 is that to look right and left. Now, the reason why they were looking right and left was in order to have the people on the right and the people on the left to actually hear the adhan. 3, to actually put your fingers in your ears while you're doing the adhan. So why that? Well, that's because to help you kind of like balance the sound while it's going out. 6, to actually say it in a loud voice. And I want you to look at this hadith in where Abu Sa'id al-Khudri, who was actually a Sahabi from Medina, he actually told this other Sahabi, said, I see that you like to be far away with your sheep and you like being in other words, in the plateaus. And he said, if you were with your sheep or in the plateau, then make sure you raise your voice with the adhan, because your adhan, if you have jinn hearing your adhan, or if you have even anything, even if it's the trees, even if it's the rocks, anything that is hearing your adhan on Judgment Day, they will actually witness that you did the adhan. Now, 7, to actually make the adhan slowly, but for the iqamah, to actually make it fast. Can I speak during the adhan? So let's say you're doing the adhan, and in between the pauses, you saw a kid about to push another kid. So you kind of turned off the microphone and said, stop. This is dangerous. For example, you needed to do that. Can you actually do that? Yes, you can. Is it okay to do it while you're doing the iqamah? It is okay, but please don't do it, because anyways, the iqamah is short. So what if you actually looked at the adhan? Can we do the adhan at different times? I heard that there is during Fajr, that there are 2 adhans. Is that true? That is actually true. Why are there 2 adhans during Fajr? The first adhan was to tell you, wake up, it's suhoor time. The second adhan was actually to announce this is the actual start of Fajr, and stop your meal and do not eat. And that's why the Prophet ﷺ had actually assigned Bilal to be the person to make the adhan during the nighttime, which is basically approximately 20-25 minutes before Fajr. And then to actually do the official adhan by Ibn Maktoum, to do the official Fajr adhan. Now, between the Salah and the Iqamah, it was basically a time for people together to do to line up for the Salah. Can we have a long pause? Let's say the person did the Iqamah, and then you went to turn off, for example, I don't know, turn off your car or whatever, close the door, and then you came back. That's okay. That's okay to have this pause, even though they already did the iqamah. You got busy with something important. That's okay. What if the person wanted to actually leave the masjid when the adhan happened? It is, please pay attention to this one. If you actually hear the adhan in the masjid, it is haram to leave the masjid. If you hear the adhan, you must pray in the masjid. Whether you are a woman, whether you are a child, whether you're a man, you have to actually pray. The Prophet ﷺ actually said, if you are in the masjid and you hear the call for salah, do not leave until you pray. Therefore, this is actually an imperative. And the Prophet ﷺ said that the person that actually leaves the masjid while hearing the adhan, that's actually a sign of disbelief or a sign of hypocrisy. They would hear the words of the Lord Almighty or the words calling them to the Lord Almighty, yet leave and not pray. Now, what if the person actually forgot to pray? They overslept. Let's assume. Did this ever happen to the Prophet ﷺ? Listen to this. Yes, it happened one time to the Prophet ﷺ, and that night was called Laylat al-Ta'ris. Was it a wedding day? No. What happened? Well, the Sahaba were all going with the Prophet ﷺ, and it was July and August. July and August, I'll explain. They were all almost 30,000. And on that journey, they were off to meet a huge army by almost 40,000 troops. In the middle of the way, they were walking so tired, and it was almost 120 degrees. It was too hot. It was far that anybody can handle, to the point that their shoes actually wore off, and their shoes, they basically started, their shoes, they started ripping. That night, they just found a place and just sat and slept. The Prophet ﷺ did assign Bilal ibn Rabah to be the person to wake him up and do the adhan for Fajr. They all fell asleep, including Bilal. It isn't until that the sun was going very, very, very hot during duha time that they woke up. Oh no, we missed Fajr. So the Prophet ﷺ then takes them, they wake up, and the Prophet ﷺ takes them for a little walk to wake up completely, and then orders Bilal to do the adhan and actually pray the made-up Fajr. So they said, should we do the Fajr twice because we missed it? The Prophet ﷺ said, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not allow you to do riba. Will he ask you to do riba? What is riba? Interest. So it's like he didn't tell you to do riba. Will he ask you to do riba? Will he ask you to do the Fajr twice because you are late on it? I said, no. That's enough. You will pray now. They prayed together, did the adhan. Bilal, why didn't you wake us up? What happened to you happened to me, O Prophet of Allah. You overslept, you were tired, and so was I. Did the Prophet ﷺ hold on by his collar and start yelling at him? No. The Prophet of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was the nicest man ever. So this is Laylat al-Ta'ris. In other words, from this event, we can take that we can actually make the adhan for a made-up prayer. So what does a made-up prayer actually mean? For a prayer that you had missed. Can women do the adhan? The women can do the adhan if they are a group of women on their own. So what if this woman, hey, she does have a very nice voice, but not for men to hear her. So what does she do? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, yes, indeed said, وَقُلْنَا قَوْلًا مَعْرُوفًا, and say what is good. But despite that, the Prophet ﷺ never used or never had a woman actually do the adhan in where there is a sunnah tarkiyya and a sunnah al-fi'liyya. There's an actual sunnah. What did the Prophet ﷺ do? There are certain things he left. In other words, he didn't do despite the circumstances being there available. In other words, there were plenty of women, but he never told the Sayyida Aysha or maybe al-Khansa, I want you to come up and step up and actually do the adhan in front of the guys. What is the wisdom? We don't necessarily have all the information of what is the wisdom, but we could see the spiritual impact. Ladies, you may not recognize it, of how, when we're looking at a woman being in a position to actually do such things in front of men, how it actually impacts. So for the sake of spirituality, the Prophet ﷺ, there was a lady, her name was Waraqa. Waraqa, she wanted to have her own women masjid. So the Prophet ﷺ assigned for Waraqa a special mu'adhin. And Waraqa didn't just want to do the adhan, she even wanted to join in battles. She thought she had the power. After all, she wanted to be a martyr one day. So the Prophet ﷺ told her to stay in her home and that she will be a martyr in her own home. So what? She's going to get an army and invade her house? Let's see what happens. Waraqa would always have this mu'adhin on top of her roof, making the adhan. The women would go to her house. She would lead. She just wanted to be an imamah, I guess. That's all she wanted. She would lead and pray. During the time of Umar ibn al-Khattab, he was like, we didn't hear the adhan of Waraqa's mu'adhin. We didn't hear it. What happened? So they go and they try to figure out what happened. They knock at Waraqa's home. Waraqa's not answering. What happened? Where is she at? The door is closed. Knock, knock, knock at the door. No one's answering. Break the door. There is something officially wrong. They broke the door to actually find that Waraqa was actually killed by her own 2 slaves. She was killed by her own 2 slaves. She died a shaheed right in her own home. This is Waraqa. Let's move on. So what if we actually had, let's say we had somebody come in, all right? And did we already do duhur? We already did duhur. But then this group of people, like 9 guys right there, they're like, you know what? We missed our duhur, we missed our salah, and we're going to do our own adhan. By all means, go ahead and do your adhan, even though we already had an official adhan that was actually done. So in that situation, you can if there is a hired mu'adhin, let that mu'adhin. So what about there was hearing that there was something that my grandmother used to do whenever she would hear the adhan, she would say, Ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah, and she would actually and start doing this and start doing, kissing her index fingers, and actually wiping them on her eyelids and stuff. Is that actually at all something that is recommended in Islam to do? No, that's not even a hadith that is authentic. So just to let you know, what about things like, like saying La ilaha illallah and starting to kiss your face and all that? There's nothing mentioned like that. So what should we call it? Well, it's not authentic. It makes it a bid'ah right there. So what about making like a beautiful remedy or a melody in the adhan? Can we actually do that? You can make a beautiful melody, but as long as that melody is not actually increasing a letter, making extra letters, making extra words, because once you're making these extra words and extra letters, you are actually making something that is an innovation, and therefore you're making a whole new thing about adhan, and you don't want to do that. So my friends, you ready for the Kahoot?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it. Here we go.
Give us a minute.
Give you a minute? Okay. So imagine the greatness. You performed duhur while I performed Aysha. Oh yeah, subhanallah, subhanallah. So here we go, you guys. We are, an awesome Black Friday, it says, so you never know. Ready, you guys? No? Okay, okay. Well, we'll do it. We're going to start. Don't worry, don't worry. We won't start yet. Don't worry. I got you taken care of. Our Kahoot is starting. If you guys answer the questions, here you go. You guys can make a Bob crew right here. All right.
Team mode.
Team mode. Hold on. Play up to 20 players.
Classic mode. لو حطوا team mode, they have to be a team. No, خلاص حطي classic.
Classic mode. Okay. All right, you guys. Here we go. شاركي معنا. شاركي معنا. Here we go, you guys. Game pin is right here.
Who's the first one?
The questions are tricky, just to let you know. I don't have a question about Salama.
No, Salma.
Oh, okay.
863 863 65
47
65 4
Yeah, come on, give me that. Wait, I know what to do. I know what to do. Wait. No, I thought we were gonna do girls team. It's okay.
girl team.
Quick. No.
ضحى وينك يا ضحى؟ حطيه شاركي. Oh, sorry about that.
Space. Oh, Mama, I think
How about نصلي في الدار
نصلي في الدار.
يوم الجمعة عنا حلقة فاميلي حلقة في المسجد اللي بحذا في
Okay.
الصلاة بتاع العشاء هي 6:15 right بعدها at 6.
Okay.
When we go to the حلقة at 7:30 هما they do الأذان و they do their صلاة at that time واحنا نكون already صلينا في الدار وسمعنا الأذان في المسجد. should we معناتها do it together صلاة or just wait
انتوا صليتوا؟
احنا صلينا في
إذا
الدار.
صليتوا ما بصيرش تصلي مرتين نفس الصلاة.
ما دي
يعني صلينا في الدار مش في المسجد نسمع الصلاة ما نصلي مش right؟
إلا إذا تصلي أنت صليتي العشاء يعني في الدار؟
Yeah.
خلاص.
هم يعملوها like late the family حلقة that time they do العشاء يعني they do it at 7:30 they do it at 7:30 في المسجد.
أنت معناها بتسألي إذا بتقدري تصلي صلاة العشاء مثلا مرتين.
يعني أنا صليت في الدار ومشيت المسجد وهم أذنوا at that time. should we معناتها
صليتي طيب already العشاء؟
already
خلاص ما بصيرش تصلي مرتين.
okay.
إلا إذا بتحبي تصلي نافلة حاجة أخرى.
okay.
أما تصلي صلاة مرتين لا. All right, are you guys ready? So
we can't see the code.
Mayar is there too. Let's see. Zizi Siha. Hold on. Why can't? Oh, they can't see it. Oh, ya haram. The people online they can't see it, and that's why I'm like, why aren't they? Okay, here we go. The people online. Yalla. Ya haram, and I'm like, why aren't they joining? Bob elevators.
What's the thing? Can you put that thing a little down, please?
Here's Lamar. There you go.
What's the
Mariam, go ahead, Mariam. I think you can unmute yourself, Mariam.
Alaikum.
Walaikum salam. What's up, Mariam?
I had a question. You know when we were going through like that map that had the stations of Yawm al-Qiyamah?
Yes.
So I just was like confused as to what makes a munafiq and not a kafir or not a mu'min, like what differentiates them.
Oh, we're going to talk about that in the tawheed class. Wait up.
Okay. Thanks. Jazakallah.
Mayar and Fadwa. You want it to be a hamburger? Allah yahdiki.
I'll try to help.
We're the hamburger too.
No way.
We're the same.
This Kahoot is tricky. Are you guys ready? No?
Okay.
Let's start. Here we go. sorry. All right. So here we go. Bismillah. Think hard about the questions. I just hope this doesn't turn off like the last time. The ruling on doing adhan is obligatory fard ayn on every Muslim, obligatory on a group of Muslims, fard kifaya, sunnah, recommended, liked, and the person doing it is rewarded. Fard kifaya. Remember, fard kifaya, you don't want the whole masjid to go and actually stand on the pulpit and do it all together. Just one is enough. Bob elevators. Good job, Bob elevators. Good job.
Girls team, you're the fourth.
Yeah. Hold on. Let's do it. Mu'adhins have long necks on Judgment Day. Why? To look great and be tall, to boast in front of everyone, to be saved from hot grounds of Judgment Day, to be saved from the sweat of sin.
Wait next time. Wait for me.
Look great and tall, right? Makes sense, right? Shafoni and S.
Next time.
To be saved from the sin. Good job.
Did you guys get it right, Hamza?
We got it wrong.
Oh, good job, Bob elevators. Oh la la. Okay, let's continue. Who were the most important mu'adhins for the Prophet ﷺ? The most important mu'adhins. البراء بن عازب, القرطبي, أبو جحيفة, أبو محذورة, بلال, عبد الله بن مكتوم, علي ibn Abi Talib, Umar ibn Khattab, after all he was the second Khalifa, Abu Bakr as-Siddiq, after all he was the first Khalifa, Bilal ibn Rabah, Uthman bin Affan, after all he got married to two of the Prophet's wives, Abdul Rahman. Okay. Let's move on.
We're the Bob elevator. May I respect how to spell Bob elevator?
Adhan is how many words? You have to be creative in doing it as long as you can. 10 words, 15 words, 25. I would say creative, right? Yeah, creative, maybe. Right? Creative? Two people said you have to be creative. You put creative? Oh.
Bob elevator. Let's see what's gonna happen.
What is the ruling for the dua after the adhan? The dua, an innovation, bid'ah, sunnah, liked, obligatory. It's liked.
No, it was you.
Is it like it?
It's liked. It's liked.
Well,
Multi-select, you guys. This is two answers. Can the adhan be done for makeup prayers? It says nothing to do with makeup and eye stuff. No, because they're too late. No, because adhan is only to be done on a specific time. Yes, because it's a prayer time. Yes, because makeup substitutes for the actual act. Two answers.
two, right?
Two answers. Good job. What do we got? Bob elevators. Oh yeah, to answer team. Adhan is to be done in a special tone. Music is from shaitan. Adhan is not to be done in tones. Only if done in the 14 types of maqamat. Only in Arabic harmony. As long as the words are right, no addition to the wording, then you can do the adhan.
Yes.
Everybody got it. Okay. That. Are you guys sure not in the or only in Arabic harmony? Lamar, 4 correct answers in a row. Good job.
We're number 3.
Okay. Women can make adhan. No, they can't. Only if they didn't include music and were wearing proper hijab. Only if they were amongst women alone. Women can never do adhan. Doing it is an innovation. Only if they are shaykhs.
all shaykhas, mashallah. Correct.
All right, mashallah, everybody's getting it right. Good job, good job. Only if they're shaykhs, right? Tathweeb in Adan is حي على الصلاة, saying الصلاة خير من النوم, saying قد قامت الصلاة, saying لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله.
Yeah, I don't know if I got this one right.
الصلاة خير من النوم. الصلاة خير من النوم is it تثويب. حي على الصلاة is actually حي على. It's called الحي على. لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله is called الحوقلة. قد قامت الصلاة is الإقامة. Let's do it again. حي على, تثويب, إقامة, and this is حوقلة. All right, حوقلة, this is حي على. Got it? All right. Shafa'a, intercession, is people supporting one another, the angels supporting good people, the prophet interceding to begin judgment day, people interceding to go to Jannah.
No one's getting a check after this. No one's getting a check.
You hurt my neck.
Good job. No one said people supporting one another. Okay. And let's see, one person said people interceding to go to Jannah. Angels supporting good people. No one said that. Okay, so inshallah, mashallah, you guys are doing great. So let's see, before we go for the other class. Maryam Al-Ani, good job. Good job. You know what? We need to actually have the Bob elevator step up so they can see you. The people online can see you. You guys want to get closer? That's okay. Are you guys okay? Hold on, let's see. Hold on, let the people see you guys. All right? Hold on, let's do it. Do you guys want to stand over there so they can see you? These are the Bob elevators. Let's see. Sit down, sit down. These are the future mu'adhineen. And here they are, our Bob elevators. Hold on, let them have their moment. Those are the first place. Those are the first place. MashaAllah, our future mu'adhineen.
And Hudayfa.
Good job. Exactly.
We're the Bob elevators.
The Bob elevators. The second team, the girls team.
No,
And
don't
Maryam
let her.
Al-Ani, you can if you want to Maryam Al-Ani, that's up to you. If you want to actually start video, that's up to you. The girls team. You can see. All right. Okay, this is it, you guys. You have done an outstanding job. We're actually going to be. Yeah, we're going to give you guys like a 5-minute break in order for us to actually go for the other class. They were excited to go for the break. Okay. So for the people online, if you would like to ask questions regarding our class, we would be happy to answer the classes. Questions?
You answered right, but we were not.
Any questions before we go for our 5-minute break? Oh, did somebody just mute me? No. Uh-oh, something happened. All right, so any questions before we end our class? And not, well, let me correct that, not end the class, but go for the tawheed class. So was Waraqa's adhan heard outside her home? She wasn't the person doing the adhan. There was a guy that was assigned to do the adhan for her. So she wasn't doing the adhan herself. Any other questions? All right. We will actually take a 5-minute break and come back for the Tawheed class.